So what I heard is, to put it really simply, is the way data is traditionally handled, it's in a reactive manner. It's when the business demands it, then you swing into shape and you marshal your troops and you go and attack it, but you don't have an overall strategy for winning the war. You're just fighting individual battles.
One thing, just like what you were commenting on, that reactive approach from the IT organization for the business kind of requirement, that is like typically how the most organizations are actually working, and they are designed with. Because the budgets usually comes in, CapEx budget comes in from the business side, they create an initiative, they come and request for that, and IT then help them execute it. But this data strategy and the centralized kind of an enterprise data management kind of an initiative usually spin out from the C-level CTOs and CIOs, because they see that what kind of requests are coming in, what kind of requests may keep on coming from in the future, and what people are not even asking because they don't even know we can do. So due to that reason, they need to bring that kind of a data accessibility and usability in the forefront, and provide that better view to the business users that there is a lot more capability available for them to utilize, so that they can start thinking. What I have seen with the more successful organization, they invest on these data related and enterprise data management initiatives in parallel to those business requirements which are coming in, so you don't hold them off. But once you are done with this, business actually start asking more and more, because now they can see the potential. They can see that these things can be made available to them more quickly. It is not going to take months and months for any time when they ask for an initiative. And it is going to be more useful, because previously they were thinking on something and they were asking about it and then coming back. Now they are presented with the information and they can see it and say, oh, based on this information, if I get 2 more of these things, we can do another piece. So that where like really you can actually start innovating and start like providing that edge to the business in like a span of your competitors, in comparison to those who might not be thinking in the same line, that now your business is truly agile and you are taking more and more data-driven decisions. And this is a problem which I have heard from so many organizations, that the business does not trust the data, and they are not happy most of the time. And what they are looking for is that, oh, just give us the Excel extract and we will do whatever we need to. Because in the finance world, business users love Excel. They want that flexibility, but then they also trust the raw data, and they trust themselves that we can create formulas on it, we can create pivots on it, we can create whatever we need to. But what IT is presenting or some analytical system might be providing, they don't trust it. How you build that trust? Because when you go into those silos of business users doing it themselves, your business start running out of Excel. And I have been to organization where we actually encountered more than 100 Excels being utilized to run the whole business. Although there are business applications, but your whole financial plan, your forecast, your execution plan, operational plans, everything is running out of Excel. And that becomes a very huge risk. But at the same time, it becomes like anytime you need to respond, it takes those business users also weeks to bring in new data, update the pivots and everything, and then make sense of what needs to happen. If you have a better strategy to help them, they are going to utilize it. They are currently not utilizing because just they don't trust it.
Right.
That comes in that most of the time business users are expert into their area. They know what their team is generating. So they are looking for those kind of data elements and information, but they don't know what data actually exists for the whole organization and what they can actually bring in together to generate more insight. So that ease of data discovery. So you are generating tons of data, but how to use that data becomes another problem. So when business users does not know how to use that data effectively, or they don't have a way, it actually becomes a problem for IT organization. You start utilizing it, your business users start depending on it, and then suddenly an issue comes in, and it takes again days for that issue to be resolved. That's where the data lineage and all the governance pieces comes in, that knowing that where each data element is coming from and where it is being utilized help you identify the challenges or problems more effectively, and also explain the data which is being presented for a business problem or business utilization. And at the same time, I have, like, you and I were working with that organization, like in the financial sector also, that there is tons of copies of the data. So every business unit, every business user, they start coming in, their new initiative comes in, they create a copy of all that data, they start creating their own kind of a silo, and they start working out of it. When we inquired from that customer, they literally told us that we don't know how many databases we have. It is in thousands, and we don't know what kind of data exists in each database.
CII, it could be a risk, right?
Exactly. And when you are in that kind of a risk, like in financial sector, it's even more critical because there's government oversight. There is a lot of like business confidence. Like we have seen that if you lose the consumer confidence into your data kind of a practices, data security, and your data kind of how you secure your data, then you are actually going to be in trouble. And that, like, getting back that confidence is going to be a big kind of a difficult kind of a exercise to win on. And then
once you lose that confidence, you can never get it back, right?
You can never get it back. And
also don't forget the regulatory agencies, that if they find out that you've got data leakage, that's a huge concern, right?
A huge concern. And I think many times, like, we keep on hearing like millions and millions of dollars of fines, and that's like that the exposure of those. It starts from the data security by itself, but then because every team was working on their silos, they start creating the copies, and even if you have some governance in place, you start losing some things out of those cracks, like because there is so many copies being generated of the data. At the same time, like if everyone start doing that, like every team, they come in and they say, oh, we need this information from CRM, we need this information from back office app, and we need to create this particular new kind of an application for a certain purpose. They have to create all those data feeds which comes into their own kind of a new database, and then they need to create application on top of it.